future races in Upland. I hope that I'm going to be able to run the other two.
This medal is gold. I got it for winning a race.
We really appreciate the city putting this on. These types of events are so important, especially coming out of the last couple of years. It's so important to be out with the community and mingle with people and just promote a healthy lifestyle.
We have seen such an excitement coming from the community. We've had participation numbers higher than even pre-COVID. I'm so excited to share that we maxed out this event, sold out. We've never done that before for our springtime race.
I ran in the Lemon Zest 5K because I felt like it was a healthier choice for me and I thought it would be a fun event to do.
Thank you so much, Upland, for hosting the first Lemon Zest, and we really enjoyed running together.
I'm so excited to be here. We love to do things as a family, running 5Ks. I know it's the first Lemon Fest, but everything is planning perfectly. I love the medals, I love the people, everything is great. I encourage you to encourage your family, your kids, to come for the next year and to enroll because this is really fun.
I'm so glad that they offer this and just a time for the community to come together, and thank you so much for offering this. It's a great way for people to just get out and have fun and exercise at the same time, so I'm truly grateful.
The City of Upland's Recreation and Community Services Department is so excited to bring new, innovative, bigger, better, enhanced programs and events to this community. We're so excited to see the next chapter of Upland Recreation and Community Services events, and we look forward to bringing them to you. We also want to remind the community that this is the first of our 3 5K races here in the City of Upland, our trifecta. We've got the Lemon Zest, we've got the Firecracker 5K, and we've got the Turkey Trot to round out the year. Look forward to it.
And we're just all in this together, so it's fun.
Thank you, City of Upland, from the Running Super Mama!
Californians produce a huge amount of food waste. Roughly 1 pound of food waste per person per day. But food waste isn't truly waste, it's a valuable resource. Upland residents have been doing a great job recycling their plastics, aluminum, and glass in the blue cart, as well as yard waste in the green cart. Now, Upland residents, you can help by simply keeping your food waste out of your black bin and placing it in your green bin. Why is collecting food waste important? Implementing the statewide plan will reduce methane gas, which is a super pollutant with significant global warming impacts. Food waste and green waste that end up in landfills emit 20% of the state's methane gas. What exactly is organic waste? Organic waste includes yard waste and food waste. Consider the food scraps on your plate or the items discarded after food preparation. These are forms of organic waste referred to specifically as food waste. Cooked meat, vegetables, bread, fruit, bones from fish and meat, fruit and vegetable trimmings, eggshells, tea bags, coffee grounds, leftover food, and yes, pizza too. These are all examples of food waste. How do you properly recycle your food waste? Use a clear or white plastic bag, but not black, to place your food waste into the green cart for collection. Don't use paper bags, as these tend to tear. Please drain food waste of as much liquid as possible before placing it into the bag. Food waste that should not be included are raw meats and ice cream. When ready to discard, tie or seal the bag and place it in your green cart along with the yard waste for collection by Burtec. Every bit of organic waste we can keep out of our landfills helps reduce harmful methane gas from being released into our environment. As a reminder, here is what goes in each of your collection barrels. In the blue container, place non-organic recyclables such as aluminum, glass, plastics, paper products, and cardboard. In the green container, place your yard waste like grass, weeds, leaves, branches, and plants, as well as your separately bagged food waste. And don't forget, place your pet waste into the black container, not the green, along with your other non-recyclable and non-organic materials. Remember, household hazardous waste such as batteries, light bulbs, paint, chemicals, sharps, electronic waste, and other such materials do not belong in residential collection containers. Bring these items to the Upland Household Hazardous Waste Collection Facility on Saturdays to be disposed of properly. Organic material is taken to Burtec's West Valley Material Recovery Facility in Fontana for additional sorting, processing, and converting into renewable organic products such as compost, mulch, or natural gas through an anaerobic system. Compost and mulch are available to Upland residents for pickup at the city yard on Saturdays. For more information on the Upland Food Waste Recycling Program, please check out the city's website. Thank you in advance for doing your part to make the Upland Food Waste Recycling Program a success.
calling all Uplanders in the 909. The secret's out. Upland is the place to live, work, and just have a good time. Uplanders, let's show them how we do it. Upland Building. Upland's historic. Upland celebrating. Upland's growing. Upland's healthy. Upland is families. Upland is a community with a bright future. See for yourself. Upland is for you.
This is a behind-the-scenes look at Phase 1 of our neighborhood street rehabilitation and utility improvement project. We start by coordinating with underground infrastructure agencies to upgrade aging utility pipelines and conduits, ensuring the future roadway remains intact. Next, we saw cut the existing road for new pipeline trench alignment, excavate and prepare for water pipeline installation. Here you can see us laying down 40-foot segments of cement-coated steel pipeline, which are welded together on site. As part of these improvements, each home receives a new durable copper service lateral, the pipe that brings water to your home. Once installed, the new water lines undergo pressure tests to prevent leaks. The water is lab tested to meet our strict quality standards. As you can see, there's a lot happening underground before the street is fully restored. We begin Phase 2 with demolition and removal of all damaged curb, gutter, sidewalk, and curb ramps. We then prepare the site for new concrete installation. Each one of these trucks delivers roughly 40,000 pounds of concrete, which translates to about 800 square feet of sidewalk area. Once poured, a finish procedure is done, and we allow the concrete to cure for 7 days for strength and lasting quality. Next, we begin Phase 3, your favorite part, where we reconstruct the asphalt roadway. Here we are removing a 5-inch section of roadway. Our first replacement layer is a 3-inch deep section of conventional asphalt. Once that is installed, we add a 2-inch cap of rubberized asphalt, which makes the pavement more durable, requiring less maintenance and allowing you to enjoy a smooth street for many more years to come.
Welcome to Upland's 2025 State of the City presentation. Let's dive in. Through strategic leadership and the dedication of our City Council and hardworking city staff, Upland is forging its own path into the future, despite limited financial resources. The city is focused on continuous improvement of the city's safety, financial stability, business development, and infrastructure. This is made possible through city-led partnerships with our regional elected officials, our business community, and our residents. The City Council and City Manager are actively engaged in securing additional funding and resources critical to the city's economic stability. These efforts have yielded one-time monies from County Supervisors Kurt Hagman and Jesse Armendariz and Congressional Representatives Norma Torres and Pete Aguilar to be used for infrastructure projects, ranging from downtown revitalization and public realm upgrades to Foothill Boulevard improvements. In Upland, residents are empowered to participate on city committees alongside their council members, who also serve on regional committees, thereby amplifying their constituents' influence within the region. As an Upland resident, you can have a voice in local government solutions. If finance and budgeting interests you, tune into the Finance Committee. Or if city infrastructure is what you're into, then the Public Works Committee might be for you. Just know that Upland thrives from community engagement and activity, so consider lending your talents. Prudent decisions on where and why to allocate funds are crucial for any city. Tough decisions are a must. In recent years, Upland has excelled in implementing dynamic fiscal policies, earning its reputation as one of the best managed cities in 2024. Some of these initiatives include biennial budgeting, launching a financial transparency website powered by ClearGov, and implementing a pension management strategy known as BLAST. The transition to biennial budgeting will improve Upland's financial efficiency, strategic long-term planning, and give residents more time to review city budgets. Upland's ClearGov platform makes it easier to communicate financial data with the goal of fostering transparency and community engagement. It's easy to use and allows residents to go deep into the city's finances going back several years. The BLAST pension strategy has already created immediate savings of millions of dollars and is scheduled to save the city $67 million over the next 20 years. Upland has received significant feedback from the community about its desire to prioritize investment into infrastructure repair and safety. The city hears you. Here's where the rubber meets the road. While Upland is in many ways a burgeoning and vibrant community, its infrastructure continues to age. Population growth across the region has added stress on its roads and byways. Addressing these issues will continue to be an important part for our hard-working Public Works Department. The recent financial improvements has allowed Upland to invest a larger portion of the budget in infrastructure than it had in years past. You're already seeing the results. Many of the high-traffic thoroughfares, such as Arrow Highway, have been rehabilitated. The next major road project on Foothill Boulevard will begin this year. Better streets mean a better quality of life for residents and more traffic for local businesses, and that's exactly what we want. Upland's ability to sustain an expanded city relies on the expertise and solid groundwork performed by its Public Works Department. The challenge of modernizing infrastructure while preserving our history is met with exceptional care and dedication. Upland's reputation as a safe place to live and work doesn't just happen by chance. It's the collaboration of a dedicated police department and an engaged community. Their motto, "Proud to Serve," forms the cornerstone of the Upland Police Department's steadfast commitment to ensuring safety throughout the entire city. This year, the department has utilized new drones to improve operational effectiveness. Officers can deploy these drones in a variety of settings, such as looking for a suspect or a missing person, or during a crime in progress. Many of these drones have night vision capabilities and are high definition. Financial efficiencies have made possible the addition of 2 new police officer positions, bringing the total sworn positions back up to 80. The Detective Bureau specializes in a variety of investigations, including commercial theft and burglary, residential burglary, and other crimes. The Quality of Life team is multifaceted and responds to community issues related to home.
Okay. All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 22nd meeting of the City of Upland Planning Commission. I want to welcome everyone to the meeting tonight. We will start with our Pledge of Allegiance, and Planning Commissioner Staton will lead us in that pledge. Please stand.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Davidson, will you take roll for the meeting tonight?
Commissioner Staton?
Present.
Commissioner Marquin?
Present.
Commissioner Johnson?
Present.
Vice Chair Caldwell?
Here.
Chair Andrews?
Here.
Commissioner Aspinall?
Here.
Commissioner Berger?
Here.
Okay. All right, thanks very much. Next item on our agenda is approval of minutes for the regular meeting of January 28th, 2026, and the special meeting that we had on March 12th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Can we do those separately? The attendance might have been different.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, good
Let's
point.
start with January
So
28th.
let's
I'll
do-
make a motion to approve.
Okay, so for the January 20th, thank you. Is there a second for that?
I'll second it, although I did have one little change to
Okay.
the minutes.
Okay.
And it's on page 4, at the end, and just, it looks like just something that was misspelled. It says, we're talking about Corten Steel, and I mentioned that to Jamie, so that's the only change I have, and other than that, I would second the motion to approve.
Okay. So should we go ahead and vote on the January 28th meeting first? Okay. I've got my screen is different here for voting. I've got it in queue. Okay. All right, here we go.
And this is approved with 7 affirmative votes.
Okay, very good. Now let's go ahead and consider the minutes from the special meeting on March 12th.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 12th meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Go ahead and vote.
This is approved with 5 affirmative votes and 2 abstaining, and I will note that we had 3 absences from that meeting.
Okay. All right, thank you, very good. All right. For the special meeting? You want to take that vote again then?
Yeah, I have noted Vice Chair Caldwell, Commissioner Aspinall, and Commissioner Johnson being absent.
Okay, so can we just let the record reflect that that was the attendance at that meeting? Or do we need to re-vote?
Let's do a
Let's
revote.
vote. Let's vote again. Again, this is for the special meeting that was held on March 12th. Okay?
And this is approved with 4 affirmative votes and 3 abstaining.
Good, okay. All right, very good. Okay, we'll go ahead and proceed now. Next item is a presentation on city council actions from the regular meetings of February 9th, February 23rd, March 9th, March 23rd, and April 13th, 2026. Mr. Dahlquist.
Thank you, Chairman Andrews and Planning Commission. We had, since we did have a meeting last month, we had 5 council meetings that occurred since the last time you met. And I'll go, excuse me, I'll go over a couple of those. February 9th council meeting, there was 2 items. One was adoption of an ordinance zoning code amendment that had to do with the housing element. It was a cleanup item, making sure that the rezoned sites for very low and low income, that those had to have a minimum of 20 dwelling units per acre. It was mostly putting a footnote into the land use chart. And the second item had to do with a contract was awarded to a contractor for the Tom Thomas Magnolia Plaza project. And so there will be a groundbreaking in next month, mid-May, and we'll start constructing that project, and hopefully we can finish that by the end of the year. And we'll invite you to the groundbreaking if you'd like to attend as well. I think it's May 14th, 15th, I'm not exactly sure. The other meeting in February, the 23rd, there was one item to report, and that was a an ordinance updating the ADU ordinance pursuant to recent changes to state law, and that you would also recommend approval on that, so the council approved that as well. On the March 9th meeting, we had one item to report, and we had you recall, we had a workshop with the Planning Commission on the Santa Fe Depot Rehabilitation Project. We had the workshop with the council in that meeting. They just had some minor refinements, and they wanted it to come back to them at the following meeting, one of the following meetings, and so I'll report to that. But they pretty much concurred with the changes made by the Planning Commission. They had some minor refinements relative to the parkway. They didn't want as much gravel, and there was nothing really significant at all. I think the signage, they didn't want any acrylic or plastic. They wanted it to be all metal, so that's the backlit sign. So that was changed to all metal. And there was a discussion on the code of the building, and which we resolved at the second workshop with them, and I'll go over that. The March 23rd meeting, there was also one item to report, and that was a relocation agreement with Lamar Advertising for the 2 billboards in the Colonies project. The requirement was, we did a specific plan amendment to allow billboards in the Colonies, and the requirement was to meet all these development standards, but also to come back with a relocation agreement. And we did negotiate. They are going to provide a new digital sign for the City Hall. It'll be 64 square feet. It'll be a digital sign just like the billboards, and it'll replace the old reader board that we have. So they agreed to provide that in terms of the relocation as part of the concessions in the relocation agreement. And then lastly, on April 13th, we have a couple items. One was the annual progress report for the general plan housing element. Every year we have to, on the HCD's form, fill out their form and report on the annual progress report on our housing element. And that's done every year. We have to turn that into HCD in April. And so that was on this meeting. We had the continued workshop on the Santa Fe Depot rehab project, and the main thing was there was a discussion on the color of the Santa Fe Depot. I think, if I recall, the Planning Commission was fine with the current color scheme. There was some discussion on painting the building black and white, and so I put together some illustrations for them in terms of other Santa Fe depots in other cities, and just the Spanish colonial revival architecture itself, and usually the color scheme of those. And so ultimately it was decided to go with the off-white or soft white and the dark brown color. So there's a lot of wood trimming on the building. So that was what was settled on. And then lastly, we did an economic development presentation and all the development activity in the city. We covered the downtown area, some of the redevelopment programs we have, and the current and future development that we have going on. That's the end of my report.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Dahlquist. You've got a busy team doing a lot of good things in Upland. Appreciate that. All right, next item on our agenda is presentation on future Planning Commission agenda items. Ms. Ferris.
Thank you, Chair. Trying to get this microphone to work here. Oh, there we go. So the items for the May agenda have not yet been confirmed, but we do have several items that are in the pipeline that will be before you, if not in May, in June. These include an update to the city's massage ordinance. So we'll bring you some revisions to that ordinance to make a recommendation to the City Council. We also have the Buffalo Grove specific plan, which is a 72-unit planned residential development on West Foothill. And then we also have the Arrow Townhomes project, which is a 124-unit townhome development at 911 Arrow Highway. So those are what we're looking at lining up at the next probably 2 meetings.
Okay, thanks very much. All right, our next item is oral communications. This is the time for any citizen to comment on any items that are not listed on the agenda under public hearings, but within the Planning Commission's purview. Anyone wishing to address the Planning Commission should submit a speaker card to the Planning Secretary prior to speaking. The speakers are requested to keep their comments to 5 minutes. The use of visual aids will be included in the time limit. Under the provisions of the Brown Act, the Planning Commission is prohibited from acting on items not listed on the agenda. Ms. Davidson, do we have any cards this evening?
For oral communications, no.
Okay, very good. All right. Okay. All right. Just as an item in terms of agenda order tonight, fellow commissioners, it's been the recommendation from staff that we take up first the business items, which are items 9A and 9B. We'll take those, the recommendation is to take those out of order and do 9A and 9B first, and then we'll come back to the public hearings thereafter. Is there any concurrence with that? Everybody okay with that? All right, and we'll go ahead and proceed. We'll start with item 9A. That's the bonus ADU program draft ordinance workshop.
Yes, thank you, Commission. The Planning Division has brought forward this workshop for your consideration on a future ordinance in order to, that would allow for an additional deed-restricted affordable accessory dwelling unit on residential lots that are larger than 15,000 square feet. There's no action that's requested for you tonight on any ordinance, but it's an opportunity to ask questions and provide early feedback. As the Commission is aware, the city's 6th cycle housing element received certification from HCD on December 11, 2025. The housing element contains several programs that the city commits on taking on over the housing cycle in order to ensure that enough housing actually gets built, preserved, and remains affordable. One of these programs includes the creation of a bonus ADU program. Here to provide a presentation on the ADU bonus program is Shannon Liska, project manager from Michael Baker International.
Thank you, Laura. Hopefully, that sounds on, so hopefully everyone can hear me okay. It's good to see you all again. So as Laura mentioned, I have a short, it's about 7-slide presentation for you to review the ADU bonus program, and I'll be providing some background, some details, and some next steps for the program. So the bonus ADU program is outlined in program 23 of the housing element. As you may recall, the city worked collaboratively with the state to achieve a compliant housing element, and a part of the housing element update includes a suite of programs that the city commits to implementing during the planning period. And a part of this is the bonus ADU program, which, as Laura mentioned, allows for one additional ADU, which is an accessory dwelling unit, on certain qualifying parcels in the city. So it helps address the state of California's requirements to affirmatively further fair housing, address housing choice options, and ensure that there's affordable housing across all of Upland. So I do want to take a moment to note that this project is funded through the Southern California Association of Governments Subregional Partnership Program, which is the SRP. So the SRP is a grant program that is administered through the San Bernardino Council of Governments to help cities implement their housing element programs. So city staff was super proactive in participating in pursuing this competitive grant, and the city has received funding for 2 projects under this grant. The goals of the SRP are to implement housing elements and specifically to accelerate infill development, facilitate housing supply, choice, and affordability, affirmatively further fair housing, and reduce vehicle miles traveled across San Bernardino County as a whole. So the program allows for one additional ADU or JADU on qualifying properties. The ADU can be any type, so it can be an attached ADU, a detached ADU, or a junior ADU, which is also known as a JADU. Lots that are eligible for the program are those that are greater than 15,000 square feet in size and are located in the RS10, RS15, and RS20 zones. The ADUs must be deed restricted and rented out at an affordable rent to lower income households for a period of 10 years. Lower income households are those that make up to 80% of the area median income, or AMI. The AMI is typically adjusted for household size. These ADUs are often rented out to family members, friends, students, grandparents, parents, young professionals, and small households that typically meet these income requirements. Lastly, the project has been assessed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, and the project is exempt from CEQA pursuant to the standards that exempt ADU and JADU ordinances. So on the slide here shows a map of the lots that qualify for the bonus ADU program. So again, the lots that are larger than 15,000 square feet and the RS10, RS15, and RS20 zones. So they're shown here in pink. There's about just under 2,000 qualifying lots, so 1,940 that will qualify for the program. And as you can see, they're largely in North Upland and largely north of Foothill Boulevard. So this program helps complement the rezonings that came forward to you a while ago that were adopted primarily south of Foothill Boulevard. So all the existing standards in the city's ADU ordinance will apply to the bonus ADUs. And because these are ADUs that are going above and beyond state law, the city is allowed to set additional standards for those. So there's a specific set of standards that will apply only to the bonus ADUs as well. So these include the following. So the ADU will have a maximum size of 800 square feet. There must be one off-street parking space provided for the bonus ADU. The bonus ADU must be located in the rear yard or behind the front plane of the primary dwelling. There is a minimum separation of 7 feet between the primary dwelling and the bonus ADU. But again, note that the ADU can be attached to an existing detached ADU. So that's what's shown on this slide here. So you could have two, kind of like a little ADU duplex, just to minimize the number of structures on the parcel. And then these zones have a lot coverage standard of 35 and 40%. So the draft ordinance has a provision that this standard can be waived upon determination of the Development Services Director. So that covers the program. And before I go into just the next steps, I wanted to take a moment to pause and see if we had any questions or comments.
Commissioner Johnson, you have a
question.
Yes.
The ADUs that would be built, would they be in concert with the main dwelling looks like?
Yes, they would be accessory dwelling units, so they would have to accompany a primary units.
And in other words, there's a home actually I just saw recently off of 13th and west of Euclid where it has an 80 unit, and the 80 unit looks nothing like the house. It's actually ugly. And so my concern just is that if they're going to be doing this, whatever they're building complements the main home.
That's in the current ADU law or the ordinance. Where exactly was this?
It's a home for sale right now. I don't want to hurt the family that's there. We went over and looked at it because we're looking for a family member, and we saw the ADU in the back, and we just went, whoa.
Does it look like recent construction? Is this older?
It was a home built in 1954, but the ADU that was built on top of the garage. It was this stucco construction. It looks absolutely nothing like the rest of the property, and to me, it was very off-telling. It was enough for me to move away. My concern on this is that with ADUs and coming up all over the place, that if they're going to build it, it looks in concert with what the main property is.
That's in our current ADU ordinance, which the bonus ADU has to comply with. And I know that when we get ADUs, we make sure that the building materials and design are comparable or similar to the house. And that's in the current ADU ordinance we have.
Okay. That was my question, so thank you very much.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Member Aspinall.
Is there a demand in Upland for this right now?
Well, we're probably doing over 40 ADUs a year, and we had to come up with 5,686 dwelling units, and HCD specifically required us to have more low and moderate income households in North Upland. So the choice we had were to rezone property in North Upland to high density residential, or to do this bonus program so that we can achieve that requirement. We thought this was the least onerous, rather than having to rezone property in North Upland, which probably would not go over well. And so that's why we're doing this, that we were required to provide more low and moderate income households in North Upland.
And also to provide some additional data, since we anticipated you would have a similar line of question. Staff did some initial sort of research, and in the last 3 years, there have been 32 accessory dwelling units that have been issued in the RS10, 12 in the RS15, and 7 in the RS20. So although we do about 40 per year citywide, they are also being done in these particular zoning districts as well.
Is the state planning to require this as they do just with one ADU or the addition? Or it just comes under the whole housing?
I've heard there was some legislation that potentially they may allow to. I don't think that's gone through the Sacramento legislative process. That might be possible down the road. But this is one thing we had to do to be able to get our housing element certified and for HCD to be happy with us getting more low and moderate income households in North Upland.
When you mentioned 2 projects being funded by a grant, what's considered a project at this point? I'm confused on what the project actually is.
So the project is, in this case, I work for Michael Baker, so our firm providing assistance in drafting the ordinance, public outreach, materials, engagement, and things like that. So that's considered the project.
Okay.
So and then the second one is a set of objective design standards. I know recently City had a workshop on that, and I'm sure that will be coming to you soon too.
Design standards on ADUs
For all multifamily?
For multifamily residential development in general.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a technical assistance just to help staff, because there's been so many laws about housing element programs, and they can be a little overwhelming for everybody to implement.
Thank you.
Any other commissioner questions at all? I just had one on the, and maybe you're going to touch on this in the presentation, on the affordability piece. So that's really the first gate that an owner has to go through, right, is to agree and document it's in effect a covenant on the property for 10 years, right?
Only the bonus,
Recorded.
the first ADU, the one that the current law allows, so we can't require.
Right, understood.
A covenant, yeah.
But on the second one.
Yeah.
Is the 10-year time frame, is that dictated by the state?
No, just the time frame we put on it. We discussed whether that should be longer, but we thought 10 years was adequate rather than going 20 or more than that.
And that obviously is recorded and travels with the property if it changes hands, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and it's recorded, it's on the title of the property.
Yeah.
You know, someone does a preliminary title report, it's going to be on the title of the property.
Okay, all right, good. Okay. All right. Continue on?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
So just the last bit I had was just covering some of the next steps. So like I said, the city has a draft ordinance based on your feedback tonight, and any other feedback we receive, we're going to finalize the draft ordinance. Then we'll create some website and marketing materials. The city has an awesome ADU website already and an awesome guidebook. So just to supplement that about this additional program. And then we'll be coming back to you for an adoption hearing and head to City Council for an adoption hearing this summer. And that is all I had for you. I wanted to thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, I know this is we're no action this evening on this. This is a workshop. Any other comments or questions from commissioners at all? Member Staten?
Just to clarify, the first ADU also has the same square footage restrictions as the second?
It's 1,000.
Remind me, I don't
1,000 square feet.
remember.
Yeah, if it's detached, it's 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
If it's attached, it's 50% of the square footage of the home.
Okay, and then the secondary ADU?
We're requiring it to be a little bit
800.
smaller, only 800 square feet.
Okay, thank you.
And that's the state standard that we have to allow anyway on just an ADU, that we have to allow at least an 800 square foot ADU that's at least or less than 16 feet high and 4 feet from the side of our property line. So we just use the 800 square foot standard based on the state standard.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Delquist.
Okay, very good. I just speaking one final item for myself, I appreciate the fact the staff is tracking these as time goes on. I think it got useful information. I mean, we're putting guidelines and incentives out there for these ADUs, and I think that as time goes on, I think keeping track of that information and kind of reporting out on an annual basis. Maybe the city has to do that anyway. I don't know, but that's useful information. I appreciate that.
We have to, basically because of the annual progress report that we have to fill out, it does ask how many ADUs have you prepared. We have to list all of those.
Okay.
So we've got to be organized because that's a pretty extensive report that we have to do every year.
Yeah, very good, very good. Well, overall, great program. I think it's responding to a need, but finding a balance with some of the legislation that comes at the state level. So, all right, very good. All right, nothing further on that item. We'll go ahead and move on to business item 9B now. That's consideration of development plan review number 25-0010. Our presentation tonight will be from Andrew. I should be able to say Andrew, right? That's my last name with an S. Andrew Ariano.
Evening, Chair and Planning Commission. Tonight I bring before you Development Plan Review number DPR-25-0010. This project currently is going to be located at 1384 East Foothill Boulevard with an existing commercial pad on the site in conjunction with the Foothill Storage District, which is under construction currently. The proposed use is an 1,490 square foot drive-through coffee shop, which was previously approved under CP 20-0012. And the zoning currently is designated commercial office mixed-use zoning and is currently exempt from CEQA. Here's going to be the site plan. The building itself is requiring 6 spaces and provides 2 ADA spaces. And the site itself actually provides a total of 29 in total, with 69 shared between both sites, the coffee shop and the storage facility to the south of the site. This is going to be the landscape plan for the site. It has 3 types of trees located throughout and landscaping around the drive-through to minimize the lights from the cars as they're stacked. This is going to be the north elevation of the building. As you can see, it has a hardy board style lap siding, congregated metal panel accents similar to the actual storage district building south of it, stucco with score lines and painted steel awnings. And of course, I've passed around the sample board itself so you can see how it's going to look like. South elevation, similar, like I said. West. And east. This is going to be the floor plan for the coffee shop. It's going to have interior seating, which is going to support an estimated 32 customers at a time. It's going to be 505 square feet. It's going to have a kitchen and related food storage areas, and of course, restrooms on site. As previously stated, the project is CEQA exempt per section 15303 for new construction or conversion of small structures, and as the project does not exceed 10,000 square feet and does not involve any hazardous materials in the construction, it is only for one building. Should the Planning Commission concur with staff's recommendation, the following motions have been provided. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Andrew. Well, first comment, Commissioner Johnson.
Yes. Excuse me. This appears to be the same property that came before us a few years ago, in which the applicant had a driveway entrance and exit that was very poor, and we turned it down. She never came back. My concern is when I was looking at this is that I drive by this area all the time. How is the entrance going from Foothill into the area, going around to get in and then going out, and the backup possible flow onto Foothill? And is the area of the drive-through going to have a situation where cars are coming from the east, going to the north, and there's no stop sign, and there's going to be a cross traffic? I'd like that explained.
First, I recall the discussion from the self-storage facility. I think you had that same issue, but there was no previous design that was turned down. that project had approval of a CUP for the out parcel for drive-through use. And that's why this project is coming back with the tenant, and it's only a development plan review because the CUP use for that out parcel was approved at the time the self-storage was approved. But since then, there hasn't been any project that's been turned down.
No. That's not my statement. My statement was that project showed how the cars were going in, driving to the east. They were going to be making a left turn around the eastern side of the building, in which they would make another left turn driving west, but there was an entrance coming in from the east. There was no stop sign there. So when the people were coming this way and the cars were coming this way, there was no stoppage of what was going on. And I remember very much going out there because I measured it myself. She talked about how the line would be coming off of Foothill, driving eastbound, making the right turn going into it, and that the cars, depending on how much use it was doing, would stick out into Foothill, and there's not enough space for have two cars, a car driving on the eastbound on the right lane on Foothill, and a car coming out trying to get into there at the same time. So my only concern is that the entrance is not dangerous going into Foothill, and that the circular area that seems to be on this drawing, that there is not a entrance coming from the east to do the drive-through on this, which is different than what she was proposing. Am I true, Ms. Ferris?
Yeah, so when you previously saw this, you reviewed conditional use permit number 20-0012. That approved a drive-through restaurant that was approximately 2,583 square feet. They didn't know a tenant at the time, and so a condition of approval was added to that conditional use permit, that when a tenant was obtained and they had plans, they would come back with those perfected plans and do design review for the Planning Commission, which is what is before you tonight. So the drive-through restaurant or drive-through coffee shop that's before you tonight is not as large as the original one that was anticipated. This one is approximately 1,490 square feet, and they did slightly orient the building a little bit different, so they have some better on-site circulation. So you can see on the site plan that's before you, there's stop signs and stop markers that are labeled in the parking lot in order to ensure safe turning movements, and then the drive-through orientation is different than the one that you would have saw before, because this tenant has perfected the site plan that for the building they wish to construct on that particular property, and the site plan has been reviewed by the city's land development division and traffic engineer in order to ensure safe moving and traffic turning movements in the parking lot.
Yeah, so I do see a distinct difference on the eastbound area. That's right on. But the cars, they take it, are going to be going around the building. They're going to be exiting on the west side of the building and going out. I'm not seeing any kind of drawings here on people that are going to be entering this area. And I've been seeing the building being built. I just drove by it the other day. They're getting really close, that beautiful storage unit. People that are going to want to go use this facility, and they're going to be turning right into it, driving eastbound on Foothill. I take it that the line going in that street that would go down to where the animal shelter is and the park's over on that side, and they turn into this area, they're not looking at a line going out into Foothill.
Yeah, as designed, it would be very difficult for backup to go into Foothill. The entrance to this parking lot is at the terminus of Alta. So as you have Alta and that intersection at Foothill, and it continues to go south, you have, as you mentioned, the road that goes around into Memorial Park. So it sort of curves at that point, but the straight through it from Alta leads right into this parking lot area, and then they need to go up around to the north side of the building in order to enter the drive-through.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Okay, all right. Member Aspinall?
Yes, so this particular owner has another coffee shop in Colorado. Is that, if I was reading
You're
this?
talking about the company is BlackRock?
Yeah.
They are they're a smaller chain coffee shop. They're based out of Arizona. I think they have like 180 stores.
Okay.
And they're entering this market. We actually have another one on West Foothill that'll be coming back to you shortly. but it's a smaller chain.
So they're basing their queuing, it's not like Dutch Brothers or something we had to deal with.
No, not on that scale at all.
Okay.
Any other commissioner comments or questions? Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. It's not a public hearing, so I don't think we have any questions for the applicant. I don't even know if the applicant's here this evening, but I think we're ready to.
Unless they want to say anything.
Would you like to address the commission at all, or any of the questions, sir?
I don't have any questions. I was just here to.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. Well, with that, then, if any member of the commission is prepared to make a motion, we'll take that now.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Sorry.
Got nominated. I move to find that this project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, pursuant to Section 15303 of the CEQA guidelines. And I move to adopt a resolution approving the project located at 1384 East Foothill Boulevard, including development plan review number 25-0010.
Second.
I'll second.
We have a motion in 2 seconds. All right, let's go ahead and vote.
And this is approved with 7 affirmative votes.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. All right, Planning Commission's determination on this item is final. An appeal period to contest the decision is from April 23rd, 2026 to May 4th, 2026. All right, thank you very much. All right, now we will go to the first of our 2 public hearings, item 8A. Item 8A is a specific plan amendment, number 4 to the historic downtown Upland specific plan, SP 25-0003. And our staff presentation will be from Mr. Joshua Winter.
Thank you. Good evening, Planning Commission. So the project we're looking at this evening is the Historic Downtown Upland Specific Plan Amendment. This is going to be the 4th amendment to the specific plan, and it includes a few items for Planning Commission consideration. First thing I'll mention is that the Planning Commission is making a recommendation on this item tonight because it is legislative. It will go to City Council for final decision. But the few things we're looking at is some development standard changes specifically to the Citrus Transportation District, a few definitions, and then some terminology update, and there's some land use table updates that coincide with some of those definition updates as well. So those will be the few things we're looking at. The first, just a little bit of background first. So the commission may remember we did our housing element rezones last year. And as a part of that, we rezoned 530 East 9th Street from Pleasant View District to Citrus Transportation District. So the Citrus Transportation District is kind of a transit-oriented development type district that allows for some pretty high-density residential uses. And because we extended that northward into the Pleasant View District, which is primarily a single-family residential district, we indicated to the commission and to the council that we'd come back with some development standards to ensure that any future development on the project site would be compatible with the surrounding residential uses to the north, so all the single-family homes around there. And since we're moving forward with this amendment, there were some other things that staff had noticed over the time of implementation of the plan that just needed some more refinement. So we're moving forward with those at the same time. So the first thing we'll look at is just the development standards. Some of just go through them really quick. So our goal again is, you can see the project site here. It's currently a gas station. There's no project currently proposed, although the property owner is looking to develop in the future. You can see there's some single-story, this is a single-story apartment complex, then there's a two-story apartment building across the street, and then some single-family residential, so fairly low-intensity uses. So we're proposing standards that are kind of be generally consistent with that. That includes a maximum, some of those elements include building height limited to 2 stories or 30 feet within 50 feet of 9th Street. So for the first 50 feet, it would have to be no more than 2 stories. There's a 20-foot required front setback. We're also prohibiting driveways or garage access from 9th Street, so we'll want everything to come from 5th Avenue. In addition, we're requiring some design requirements to require any future development just be as a craftsman style. So that includes, facade details, materials, front doors facing 9th Street, things like that. So because there's a lot of craftsmen along 9th Street in that general area, we want to see that style continued. And again, it's really just to make sure that we don't get, a 4-story building right on 9th Street that's going to be distinct from the rest of the neighborhood, we'll say. In the next item, we'll talk about just the definitions. So currently there are many uses listed in our land use table, and then there are some uses that are not defined and some uses that their definitions are rather broad. So what we're looking to do here is just add a couple new definitions for uses that we have encountered, and then clarify some other definitions in which we have needed to apply to some uses that may or may not be consistent with the goals of the specific plan and things like that. So the first use that we're looking at is unique retail. So currently the use is not defined. Retail uses are currently only regulated under a retail store general, which just broadly includes retail stores. But we've encountered specific retail uses that are rather niche in what they're trying to do. And so those we haven't found to be consistent with our general retail definition, and have found that we've wanted to have a little bit more control over those uses. So we are proposing the definition on the screen, which is a retail establishment that offers specialty, handcraft, locally produced, or niche goods. I won't read through the whole thing, but it's basically the Development Services Director can identify those things consistent with that definition, and then we can require an administrative use permit, which is a discretionary application. That way we can have a little bit more control over some of the more specialty uses that are proposed for downtown. The next use we want to define is distillery and brewery. So we have a few breweries already downtown, and the way we permitted those is by saying that they're similar to a bar or restaurant. And then we've required those permits, but we've gotten requests for distilleries and other breweries, so now is the time to go ahead and add a definition. So the definition basically has some standards that we typically see because the breweries, they offer for sale packaged beer. You can buy beer there. Sometimes they have kitchens associated with them and things like that. So just the definition just to capture that use, because it's, we have 3 downtown and it's been popular, so we want to make sure we're properly regulating them. And then we've also required an administrative use permit for these types of uses, which is typically what is required for a restaurant with alcohol service. But if they were to propose live entertainment, they would also have to get a conditional use permit. So that would go forward to you as well. The next definition is light industrial. So this land use is primarily permitted in the Citrus Transportation District, where the old packing houses are and some of the older citrus-related business buildings that were built a long time ago. And currently the definition is any office or industrial use that produces minimal traffic noise, odors, or pollutants. Permitted land uses include light manufacturing, assembly, processing, and office. So it's rather broad in its application, and we've had a lot of uses that have tried to come in under that definition that We have not identified consistent with that, so we wanted to be a little bit more particular in the definition with some standards for how many trucks you can have and being more specific about what types of manufacturing uses. So we have artisan manufacturing and small scale product assembly and some more specific terminology to make sure we're capturing exactly what we want to permit down there, down in downtown. And we're also, currently it's a permitted land use. We're recommending that be changed to an administrative use permit. Again, that's discretionary, so it'll just give us that little bit more control over the types of industrial uses that go into downtown. And then the last two we're proposing to change include a restaurant and the next one is the bar. So currently they both also have brief definitions, and with the new definitions we're proposing, there's some specific license types and things like that they'll have to comply with. So we have restaurant and bar, and these are going to be distinguished based on the license type, the amount of food sold, and things like that. So we just want to differentiate bar and restaurant, as we've had some restaurants that perhaps blur the lines between what a bar is and what a restaurant is and things like that. And then the last thing we are going to change is just some terminology. So we have in the specific plan what's called a minor conditional use permit, and that's an administrative permit that's approved by the Development Services Director. But our current code uses the word administrative, so we're modifying that to just be consistent with the code. And then the land use table in the specific plan identifies second dwelling units, which is no longer a category, so we're just changing that to accessory and referring to the zoning code for the regulations for accessory dwelling units. And this action is exempt under CEQA. Pursuant to section 15061, the common sense exemption, because this is only text amendments, there's no physical development proposed along with this project, so it is exempt. And we are recommending that the Planning Commission find it exempt from CEQA, or recommend that the City Council find it exempt from CEQA, and to recommend approval of the amendments. And that's it, if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Winter. Any commissioner questions at all? Mr. Warren? All right. Yes.
I don't actually have a question, but I just want to commend you on these definitions. They're very detailed and they're very good, and I think they're really going to help moving forward on any new development down there. So they're good. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, so this item is a public hearing. So we'll go ahead and open the public hearing at this point. The applicant is the city. I'm going to presume that you've already made your comments and remarks relative to this item, so we'll go ahead and proceed.
Unless you have any questions, we're here to help.
Always. So we do want to, though, offer the opportunity for any testimony from those in the audience. Jamie, do we have any cards on this item?
I don't have any in hand.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, then we will go ahead and, unless there's anything further from the staff, I'll go ahead and look for we'll close the public hearing first of all. And is there a motion from anybody on the commission regarding this item? Looking around.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion.
I motion to adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending the City Council find that the proposed project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15061, Article B and 3. Adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending that the City Council approve specific planned amendments number 25-0003, amendment number 4, amending the specific plan as shown in Exhibits A, B, and C of the draft resolution.
Okay, thank you. And we have a second from Member Johnson. Thank you very much. All right, so we can go ahead and vote.
And this is approved with 7 affirmative votes recommending approval of City Council.
All right, thank you very much. Good job. There is no appeal period on this item. The Planning Commission's decision is a recommendation to the City Council. Thank you very much. All right, next item is item 8B. Consideration of revocation of a conditional use permit, number 15-05. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing at this point. I do want to read into the record the following regarding the proceedings tonight for the purposes of conducting this hearing. This is a quasi-judicial hearing. We will first hear from the city staff and then the holder of the CUP, and then take public comment. Following that, we'll allow each side to provide rebuttal, beginning with the city, and finally the commission will deliberate and vote to provide staff direction on next steps. While each side and the public will have their opportunity to speak, the formal rules of evidence do not apply in this quasi-judicial hearing, and as such, no cross-examination is permitted. Neither side will be able to ask questions of the other side. However, commissioners will have opportunities to ask questions of all parties. Okay? All right, so we'll go ahead and start the hearing tonight with presentation from the city. We have 20 minutes allocated for that, and this is for all city representatives concerning this matter to speak on the item. And please note that the city may reserve time from the time allotted for rebuttal. Okay? All right, so we'll go ahead and proceed.
Thank you, Chair, members of the Commission. As mentioned before you today is a revocation hearing on conditional use permit number 15-05. The Commission may recall that the original conditional use permit was approved by the Planning Commission on September 23rd, 2015, and it approved a 1,774 square foot sports bar. As a part of that approval, resolution number 4820 included required conditions of approval for both the establishment and the operation of the sports bar use. The Planning Commission or Planning Division has received and reviewed a memorandum from the Upland Police Department documenting a pattern of violations of the conditions of approval, state alcoholic beverage control or ABC laws, and city regulations. So we'll be going through those today. So as the memorandum was attached as one of the attachments to the staff report, and it was analyzed in the staff report as well in much further detail. The memorandum outlines undercover police department operations that were done jointly with the Claremont Police Department that were conducted on November 7th, 2025 and December 18th, 2025. In addition, it notes that a code enforcement inspection was conducted on January 21st, 2026. Staff also has record of a previous ABC violation that occurred in 2018 that required police department involvement as well. That was in regards to an ABC noting that there was alcohol service being done after 2 a.m. and requested police department support. Violations to conditions of approval number 1.9, 2.3, 2.4, 2.7, 2.10, 3.2, 3.3, 3.7, and 3.25 are documented in your staff report and the attached memorandum. A copy of all of those conditions of approval was also attached to the staff report, so you can see the precise language of those conditions. There have also been noted violations to both sections of the California Business and Professions Code and California Vehicle Code. These violations are related to the service of alcohol to visibly intoxicated patrons, the consumption of alcohol by a bartender while on duty, service of alcohol after 1 a.m. outside of approved hours of operation established by the conditional use permit, the service of alcohol after 2 a.m. in violation of California Business and Professions Code Section 25631, a DUI arrest directly linked to alcohol service at the establishment, allowing a minor to enter the premises and purchase alcohol during an undercover compliance operation, failure to comply with responsible beverage service requirements and applicable ABC regulations, live entertainment held after 11 p.m. outside of the hours approved under the conditional use permit. Now, the Planning Commission should be advised that there are required findings that must be made in order to modify or revoke a conditional use permit. And these are outlined in section 17.45.100C of the Upland Municipal Code. Only one finding needs to be met in order for the findings to be considered to be met for a modification or revocation. These findings are outlined on the screen before you. And the notable ones that were outlined in the staff report include finding number 3, which includes one or more conditions of approval have been violated or have not been complied with or fulfilled. Condition of approval, or finding number 6, which reads, improvements authorized by the permit are in violation of the zoning ordinance or any law, ordinance, regulation, or statute. And finding number 7, which reads, the use or structure is being operated or maintained in a manner which constitutes a nuisance. The options before the commission tonight, based off of the evidence and provided in the staff report and the attached memorandum and the testimony that you'll hear tonight, include these 3 that are on the screen. The commission may elect to take no action. The commission can direct staff to initiate the modification of conditional use permit number 15-05, which would require a noticed public hearing and would return at a separate date with an amended resolution. And or the commission can direct staff to bring back a resolution with the findings to revoke conditional use permit number 15-05. These actions are exempt under the California Environmental Quality Act under the common sense exemption, as the potential modification, revocation of this conditional use permit will not result in any changes, either direct or indirect, to the physical environment. And in addition, the review of conditions of this conditional use permit is not subject to environmental review pursuant to CEQA guidelines 15321 for enforcement actions by regulatory agencies. Before you on the screen, we have the motions for the various different options for the commission. We do have representatives from the police department who are here who are able to provide additional testimony and details on the particular item and are available for questions.
Okay, let's go ahead and proceed then to your presentation, sir.
Good evening, Commission. I just wanted to emphasize a few points in addition to this PowerPoint. The conditions that we speak of are binding obligations that the business owner expressly agreed to follow as a condition of being able to sell alcohol in our city. The violations outlined today demonstrate the applicant has not merely failed to comply with individual permit conditions, but has fundamentally disregarded the regulatory framework established by our city. Thank you. The conditional use permit conditions imposed by the Planning Commission are designed to prevent alcohol-related harm by requiring responsible alcohol service, adherence to operating restrictions, and proper oversight. These safeguards were repeatedly ignored, resulting in serious, foreseeable, and preventable risks to the community. The city has both a legal and a moral obligation to uphold the standards, enforce permit conditions, and protect the public safety and quality of life. And if the commission has any questions on any certain incident, I'd like to elaborate on those or further explain.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, fellow commissioners, at this point, we have the opportunity to ask any questions of a member of the police department or city staff regarding this item at this point. Are there any questions? Anybody else? Okay, let's start. Go ahead, Dave, you go first.
Okay. In reading the report, and I think it was on one of the slides, there was a reported incident, and I think in 2018, that the ABC got involved with. And then looking at the reports, apparently there were 27, I think, calls for service between 2023 and current. And I suspect some of those were prior to late 2025 when these other incidents. Was the owner appraised of the incident in 2018 as well as the other incidents that occurred?
Yes, the incident in 2018 stemmed from a complaint that actually went directly to ABC. It was regarding serving alcohol and then also serving alcohol past the allotted time. So that complaint went to ABC. ABC actually went there in person during this incident along with Upland officers and were doing their investigation. So in conjunction with them, that's when the incident occurred where they personally saw over-serving and then serving after hours. And during that time frame, the bartenders were consuming alcohol themselves, one of which was intoxicated.
Okay. So I guess what I'm looking at is before this notice came out, the owner had been notified of issues with their operation.
Yes, whenever we do an ABC function, we're working off of an ABC grant, typically in conjunction with ABC. Everything is reported back to them. So no findings are kept secret. Everything is mentioned to the business owner, and everything is put out there and completely transparent.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson, you had some questions?
Apologies. My only question for our officer. Are we seeing any form of, for lack of a better word, repentance or getting better by the establishment?
Some violations are more egregious than others. We had about 5 different issues. Some code enforcement type issues after repeated offenses. Code enforcement went there and observed 5 different violations. Some of those violations, all 5, were actually corrected by the business, and they came and essentially asked for those to be dismissed. Our agency ultimately dismissed those because we had proof that they were corrected.
Is this establishment, in your opinion, through law enforcement, moving in the right direction of what it's supposed to be doing, or is it lackadaisical about what it's supposed to be doing?
As far as the issues I just said, those were strictly code enforcement type issues, such as signage, not allowing proper egress for an emergency, the back door is blocked by debris, not having proper hotline numbers, not having alarm permits. All of those were code enforcement type matters, and those were easily rectifiable, which they were fixed. The issues that we have concern with are the safety aspects, where there's over-serving, the bartenders are drinking themselves, people are not being carded, we have people that are underage not only entering, which is against the law, but they're also being served at the same time. Additionally, we had somebody leave the bar who was intoxicated, and luckily we had officers in the area, called it in, got the car stopped, and that person was driving under the influence.
And this has all happened in the last 6 months?
Within the last year.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Commissioner Aspinall?
Kind of along those lines, there was a letter in our packet from the owners about the various corrections and what they're doing. Has the police department reviewed that letter and all of the actions they are or are planning to take?
Yes.
And in your opinion, do you still stand by, I think, what you're saying is you think this business is a nuisance to the city of Upland?
I do. That's the opinion of the department, and based on, again, those code issues that can be easily rectifiable, those are minor matters among the grand scale of things.
So their response does not change your opinion?
That's correct, ma'am.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Caldwell.
If I can just follow up on the 2018 incident. So it went directly to ABC. The complaint went directly to ABC. Was there any action by ABC, or did they have to pay a fine? Did anything change after that?
Yes, during that particular night, ABC was in there with Upland officers, and ultimately both of the individuals who were working and serving alcohol past hours and then consuming alcohol as well were cited, one of which was intoxicated, and he was arrested.
Oh, so they called it in to ABC that evening, and you were able, the Upland police were able to go to the restaurant or the bar at that evening for that incident.
The 2018 incident ultimately stemmed from a complaint that was directed to ABC. ABC received a complaint from a concerned citizen that the business in question here was over-serving and serving after hours. So ABC proactively did an operation where they went into the business and they used Upland officers as well in conjunction because it's our jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were there and observed this firsthand. These violations were, again, over-serving and then serving after hours while the bartenders were drinking, and one of which was intoxicated.
Okay, so from the 2018 until 2025, these calls for services that are in the packet or in the report, those are all happening between after the ABC incident and to when you were in there. I believe it's in November 2025.
The calls for service that are noted in the staff report are over a 3-year time period. So the 3 years preceding April of this year.
Oh, okay. So
they're 3 years of calls for service.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Mariquin.
Thank you. I can't imagine that a couple of code violations would warrant such a response from the department. And I think what I'm understanding is that it has gotten to the point where it's a public safety issue, and that's stemming from things such as a DUI, obviously, and over-serving patrons. And and there are other businesses, I'm sure, that have code violations that perhaps don't reach this level. But it's the issue that it has now at this point become a public safety issue.
Correct. I think it's important to mention too, on the November 7th issue, that was a joint operation between Upland PD and Claremont PD. We went to 3 bars prior, alcohol serving establishments prior to this establishment. No violations were observed. This was the 4th one for that night, where a bartender was consuming alcoholic beverages while on duty and showed signs of intoxication himself. Alcohol was being served to at least 2 patrons who were clearly intoxicated, and officers also saw serving after the 1 o'clock conditional use permit timeframe. And again, there's just utter disregard for the rules that have been set forth and agreed to.
And that was my follow-up question, if there had been other similar establishments that had been part of that sting.
Yes, this was the 4th, that particular night, and we also do establishment checks across the city at random dates and times in conjunction with ABC.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, looking around here, no other questions at this point of any of our city representatives. So with that, then, we'll go ahead and proceed to invite the holder of the conditional use permit, any representatives, and any of their representatives to speak regarding this matter. Like the city presentation, the CUP holder may reserve time from the time allotted for rebuttal as well. So would ask that as you come forward and address the commission and the staff, please give us your name so we can have that in the record. Okay.
Good evening.
Welcome.
My name is Linda Awad. I'm the owner of Third Base Sports Bar. This business represents over 10 years of hard work, and it means everything to me. It's not just a business, but as a part of this community where I've raised my family. I take full responsibility, and I've already made all the necessary changes to ensure that we move forward in the right way. I thank you for your time, but I'm going to allow my husband to take over. David Zavala.
Hello, my name is David Zavala. My wife, Linda, and I own Third Base Sports Bar in Upland, and I appreciate you and thank you for giving me the time to speak. First, and most importantly, as business owners, we take and accept full responsibility for all violations in the past and any that might happen in the future. I'm going to start with the violation mentioned back in 2018 for serving outside of business hours or hours that we're allowed to serve. Although those charges were later dropped, both bartenders were fired shortly after the incident, one being the sister of my wife. After this incident, we had no other violations that we are aware of until November 7th, 2025, which is almost 8 years. This, I believe, shows our commitment to addressing and fixing any issues that arise throughout the course of our day-to-day operation. After reviewing the report provided by the Chief of Police, it appears there were 2 days we had some major violations. The first being November 7th, 2025, with our bartender Frankie Torres, who has since been terminated. Once finding out about the evening in question, we absolutely agreed with the Upland PD and his gross negligence and immediately terminated him. The next violation reported was our bartender serving a minor. It was reported the ID was never checked, but in fact it was. And if need be, we could maybe request the body cams. But unfortunately, the bartender did not check the date properly and still served the alcohol. She has since been terminated as well. Lastly, we had 5 code violations. The violations being not having a 24-hour hotline for complaints, a no smoking sign, not making sure the fire exits remain clear, not having an alarm permit, and not having an ID reader. All those violations were fixed within days of being made aware of them. I would also like to note that we were under construction at the time, so we did have some of those signs, They were just down because the walls were being painted, and we were putting a wrap on the wall. And we did have the alarm permit with the city, and we provided that to the department. I would also like to mention, we were in the middle of construction. Sorry about that. In the chief's report, he mentions a documented pattern of noncompliance and repeatedly ignoring safeguards. And this is something I completely disagree with. In fact, both back in 2018 and recently in 2025, we immediately took corrective measures to fix all violations. We recently had our bartenders take a California Responsible Beverage Service training course, which we've provided pictures of all their certificates to you guys. We have had several staff meetings discussing the importance of not over-serving, not serving past hours of service, and IDing all customers. We also let them know we have a zero tolerance policy for drinking on the job. We're a small business, so having somebody at the door just doesn't make financial sense for us during the week, but on the weekends, that's something we're moving towards. Although we aren't happy about a customer receiving a DUI after leaving our establishment, we can't force anyone to be a responsible driver. We have Ubered many of our customers home, even at our own dime at times, but we can't force anyone to Uber or have a designated driver, unfortunately. All it takes is one drink to be, one or two drinks to get a DUI, and we know that's not much, but it's still the standard. The next thing I'd like to touch on is a mention of calls for service. If we have a disturbance, an unruly customer, a fight, or any other issue that requires to call the police for help, then yes, we call them. I'm not sure why that's noted in the report as such a bad thing. That's what the police are here, is to help serve the community, protect, and that's what we call them for. On April 16th, 2026, they mentioned it in the report. That was actually my wife calling because we had a customer that would refuse to leave after we refused to serve her. She was intoxicated and it was time to close. Next, let's speak about the karaoke. Maybe we misinterpreted what entertainment is. We thought a DJ dancing or a band would be considered the entertainment, not thinking simple karaoke was a violation. We have since ended karaoke at 11 p.m. Sometime in March, after learning of these investigations and violations, my wife and I went down to Upland PD and had a face-to-face meeting with Sergeant Malakovich. In my opinion, the meeting went very well. He thanked us for coming down and taking it as seriously as we did. And they actually reduced the fines, because we took care of it so fast. I expressed to him whenever they find wrongdoing or suspect wrongdoing that they notify us so we could fix any issues. We can't be present 24/7 and appreciate any help from Upland PD to stay compliant. We've even took away some of they took care of some of our fines for the quickly fixed violations. One final thing I'd like to discuss is the chief's report. He talks about downtown Upland, the Lemon Festival, which the third base is not in downtown Upland. It's off of Central and Foothill. But I can only guess he's referring to the business we are in the process of opening. What I can say is these are two different business models. One being a full-service bar where people under 21 are not allowed, and the new possible one being a restaurant that focuses on a completely different customer base. One has nothing to do with the other. The possible future business that will be located in downtown will be a completely different staff, completely different management team, and a completely different business model. It doesn't feel random he mentions downtown Upland. It feels like the business and its employees are being punished before they even start and for violations to be even committed in the new location. In closing, we want to reiterate that we take full responsibility for what has happened, and more importantly, we have taken immediate and meaningful action to correct it. We are not making excuses. We are here showing accountability, growth, and commitment to doing things the right way. The changes we've made are real, they are in place, and they're being enforced every single day. Third Base Sports Bar has been part of the community for over 10 years. It is more than just a business to us. It's something that we built from the ground up, something we take pride in, and something we are committed to protecting. We respectfully ask for the opportunity to continue operating and to prove throughout our actions that we are reasonable business owners who take compliance seriously. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, this is now an opportunity for members of the commission to ask questions of the CUP holder. Anybody looking around the table here?
Question.
Yeah, Vice Chair Caldwell.
I have your owner statement in front of me, and I just had a question, and maybe you can clarify that for me. In it, you talk about a zero tolerance policy regarding overservice that's been established. In that same paragraph, you mentioned that a one drink per person policy has also been implemented to better control alcohol consumption. Can you describe to me what that means?
Basically, like when someone comes and they order a beer, but then they want a shot too, it's kind of serving double the alcohol at the same time. So it's just one drink at a time, basically.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm super nervous.
No, it's okay. Okay, that answers my question. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was just you come in and you have one drink the
But
whole time
sometimes they
that you're
want
there.
shots too, and they get, it just makes them, intoxicated faster. So we're just limiting their drinks.
Okay. Thank you.
Member Marklin?
Hi, thank you for coming in today. I have a couple of questions. You mentioned that your employees have gone through the California Responsible Training course. Was this the first time that your employees have gone
No,
through that?
I just had them retake it.
So
just
how,
to freshen them up.
okay. How often do they take this course?
Oh, well, I was new a few years ago, but all my employees are new. I have a whole new staff because I've gotten rid of everybody. So all the girls that work there now have only been there a couple months. So I don't know prior when they took it, but I made them take it when they were hired with me.
How often are they required to take this
I think
course?
it's once every 2 years, or I think maybe 3. I have to double check. I'm really not sure.
What's your current management structure?
Do you want to answer that? Because
My wife oversees the bar on the day-to-day basis. She does the orders, she does the scheduling, she does the hiring.
I still work too.
She still works a couple of days, not too many, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. But she manages and runs the place for the most part.
And that requires your presence every day?
Yes,
And are you in fact there every day?
I am now. Yeah, I wasn't, but I am now. Every
If
day.
who's there in your absence?
The bartenders.
The ones that were over serving?
No, none of them are employed there anymore.
They've all been terminated. We do have cameras in the business. We are currently upgrading. They're a couple years old, so obviously the pictures get more clear with technology. So it's expensive. So we are in the process of upgrading the cameras.
Okay, and what kind of training do they get with respect to identifying like their IDs and?
We just purchased the ID machine, so they're required to ID every person that walks through the bar now. And I have it all, it's all recorded, it's all on, we have the new, what is it, the ID?
Yeah, it's a machine that records every person that comes in.
And they have to scan it. So if they don't have the ID, they can't stay in the bar. And the scanner tells you, like, it shows a green light, red light, it shows if it's expired, it shows it. So it's 100%, everyone's getting ID'd.
What was the process prior to this machine?
We just ID'd them visually.
And what training did your staff receive in that regard?
I'm not sure that we.
Like with respect to, well, I mean,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
in identifying a driver's license and the age,
We have a clock on the wall that has the date, and it shows today's date with it's been on there since, so I mean, as long as they're paying attention to the ID, it's common sense.
Okay. And would you agree that driving under the influence is a public safety hazard?
It is very
Absolutely.
much, yeah.
Because you stated, sir, that you can't force someone to have a designated driver, or in relation to your comments about the person who was detained and ultimately, I'm assuming, convicted.
Right, we've tried stopping many patrons if we feel they're too intoxicated to drive. Like I said, we've Ubered home customers on our own dime. We do what we can, but like I said, unfortunately, if somebody,
Drink responsibly.
if somebody comes into the bar and maybe stopped somewhere before and had a couple drinks and stop and have one or two, and to us, we wouldn't have the opportunity to see how impaired he might have been prior, and he leaves. I mean, we're just, things could be missed. And then also, like I said, you can't, if somebody's leaving, what can I do if they refuse Uber or refuse,
It's their responsibility to be responsible, right? I mean,
we have to be responsible as adults. We also have to be responsible as business owners, and we're trying to do that.
Sure. Have you had any training in that regard? So with respect to identifying somebody who appears to be overserved, has that happened?
yeah, I have, yes. I've been in the industry for like 25 years, so I've had plenty of training. It's just the classes we take.
Okay, and then going forward, the current employees that you have, what's the plan for training for them with respect to identifying age-appropriate patron, and then identifying whether they have been or what they appear to be intoxicated?
Well, I mean, the first thing, identifying underage patron, it should be we should have zero issues now that we have this machine that we purchased, because we've let them know that it's mandatory, no matter who comes in this building, they have to scan that ID before they get
Yeah, if
served.
they have no ID, they're not even allowed. Even if you're 80 years old, I'm like, oh, sorry.
And just, I mean, I think we had them take that course for training to recognize intoxicated persons, but
What's
also,
the
I think it
weights?
becomes also with experience being a bartender. I mean, we have staff meetings, and we're definitely focusing on trying to help our employees recognize it, and if they have any question, we just told them to shut it down. I mean, we're trying to stay compliant. We're not trying to lose our business. We're not trying to overserve. We're not trying to do any of those things. We're not trying to put the community in harm's way by any means. And like I said earlier, we're trying to fix everything that we're aware of. We had a meeting with Sergeant Malakovich, and we told them they came in multiple times without even letting us know after they found violations. I'm like, well, how can we fix a violation if we're not aware of it, correct?
Yeah,
You know,
November,
right? So-
December, none of that. I was not aware of none of that. So had I been notified with the first bartender drinking on the job, he would have been gone a long time ago, and I wouldn't have got. I mean, I don't want to blame anyone, but I wasn't aware until the incident in January. That was the first time they notified me for anything.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Aspinall?
I have a follow-up real quick from her.
Oh.
Can I?
So do I.
Oh, go ahead.
But I got you. You're good.
I know. I'm kind of going back to your presence on the job, and you were saying you are now.
Well, I wasn't. I mean, I have kids at home. I don't work that. I mean, I wasn't there 24/7. But now that all these issues, I'm there. I live 5 minutes down the street, so I'm there in and out all day long, throughout the day.
But it seems like these violations have been going on for several years, and then you're just, oh, well, that was what I was hearing, but.
I haven't had no violations in 9 years.
About 8 years. Our first violation was in 2018.
Yeah.
We
2018.
terminated those two employees, and we just recently had another violation, and we terminated.
In January.
We terminated those employees as well.
I don't know if this question is better for you or going back, but is there a certain time, as these violations have been observed over time, is there a certain time in your operating hours that these are occurring? Is this close to your closing? Is this mid-afternoon? Do you have any?
I'm not familiar because they didn't tell me the time that they came in.
Okay, maybe I can go back and ask later. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, yeah, Brian, go ahead.
It was pretty close to yours. And so
Okay.
when you're not present at the bar, like now, and you've got servers there, who's in charge? Who's the adult in the room that's going to help make sure that things are happening when they need to be happening or not happening?
We're constantly on the cameras. It's a very small bar. We
Yeah, we're
have
not
we have
busy.
one bartender working at a time.
We don't
It's-
serve food.
Yeah, it's rare.
It's
It's rare.
a slow place. It's not like downtown or yeah.
It's rare we have two bartenders. It's usually a single bartender, so she'll be in there helping out or in the office or doing schedules or orders or stuff like that. But she's not there 24/7. But like I said, we do have cameras, and and we're constantly monitoring the cameras to
I'm there
make sure.
during the day, and then I go home for a while, and then my son comes to at night and closes with the girls every night. So there is somebody there that closes with them every single day. They're not alone all the time. Maybe midday.
Okay, thank you.
Can I follow up on that?
Yeah. Well, go ahead, and then after you, Commissioner Johnson. So go ahead on that.
Me?
Yeah.
You keep mentioning the cameras. So when you say you're watching the cameras or you can see them, does that mean that you are somewhere else, maybe at home, and you're actually watching what's going on there? At first, I thought you were talking about that was like a surveillance, like that you would go back and they were taping it, but you're actually
No, we watch it from the
watching it from the house or from the home. Okay. That was my
Wherever we're
question.
at.
We could access the cameras on our phones.
I could, yeah, all day long.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, hi. Currently, what are your operating hours?
We open at 12:30 and we close at 12 during the week. And then on Fridays and Saturdays, we stay open till 1.
Would you be open to changing those hours?
Considering that I don't serve food or anything like that. I mean, to close earlier wouldn't make sense. People don't usually go out during the day to bars.
Would you be open to working things out with the city to having a small venue so food is being served, which does absorb alcohol and that?
I'm open to whatever
Would
makes.
you open to that? And then finally, I've only seen one or two other bars in my life do this, but I kind of like it. Would you be open to putting up some kind of sign in your building that if you observe somebody being intoxicated and they're driving, you'll warn them not to drive, otherwise you'll call law enforcement?
Absolutely. And one thing to mention, we don't have a hood or anything, so we don't have a kitchen in there.
We could do
But
hot
what we have done, and we're not selling anything, but we have a popcorn maker, we have a hot dog roller, so customers can have.
We order pizza. People eat
pizzas,
at my bar. We just don't serve food because we don't have a kitchen.
Yeah, I know of one particular bar that doesn't have a kitchen, but they work something out with a local pizza place, and they have food readily available for people to do that kind of stuff. Okay, so you are not in favor of changing your hours.
Well, I mean,
If it's necessary.
I'll give you an example. It seems like the officer here was talking about some things. This day and age, as we all are getting a little older, the 1 o'clock and 1:30 bar days are over. And I'm thinking, maybe last call could be 11 p.m. That would be something that would slow things down a little bit. Also, having a form of substance and some food available at all times, and having a warning sign letting people know, hey, if you're coming in here and you're driving and we see you're intoxicated, you're not going to drive home, you're going to drive. Otherwise, we're going to call law enforcement. And that's a non-negotiable thing. You let people know, hey, we're not going to take the safety of the neighborhood out. Yeah. I am very concerned. I love businesses that do their own thing. I mean, I'm with you.
I've taken keys. I've done it all.
Yeah. But you know what? This officer here made a very clear point. It is the day of drinking and driving drunk and being irresponsible in a bar is over. And you've had a lot of violations. The 2018 thing I kind of took a pass on because it was a while ago. But as the officer testified, there's been several things going on in the last year. And I know exactly where you guys are at. The drunks walking in and out of your place has got to stop. That stops with you on when it comes to you're the one that's making the profit off the drinks. You see somebody that's hammered, you got to be able to say no. It's done, buddy.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's no before they ask again. So I just wanted to see if you were willing to change your hours. The 12:30 in the afternoon opening up, that's no big deal, but maybe closing at 11 o'clock. At last call, 11 o'clock would help things out.
We do last call at 12:15.
Well, like 11 o'clock. Like 11
No,
o'clock.
during the week we do.
There's bars around here that are closing up at 10. I mean, we got great restaurants up in here in the downtown. They're shutting things down at 10, 11. If they're doing it because of safety and stuff like that, I believe that it would be totally okay for you to do the same thing. Staying open and having alcohol constantly served after 1 a.m. in this day and age is putting a lot on our police force, who are understaffed in the first place. And I just, I think, I'd like to see your business saved.
I understand.
But if it's like, no, I want to stay open to 1 a.m. and I want to be able to serve people all night long, you're going to lose me.
Yeah. No,
So I just want you to really think about that.
I will. No, I agree.
We have, when the conversation I had with Mr. Malakovich at the PD, I welcomed their advice, their help. We're not trying to serve.
Well, it starts with you.
Right? No, absolutely.
It totally starts with you. And as an owner of a business myself, it falls on us.
We're absolutely open
Okay.
to changing hours if that's what's necessary.
And working with law enforcement on watching the patrons that are drinking. If someone's is hammered. You know it.
Yep.
You got to stop it right there and then, and you need to be able to be proactive and tell them, are you driving? Okay, you're not. So you're leaving your keys here and call an Uber. We'll help you out. If the guy is being refused, the woman's being refusing driving, you call law enforcement immediately. We have a problem here with an intoxicated person. You got to be super proactive on that. I'm concerned with all the violations. I stand with our law enforcement on what he's saying on this, but I'm not a person that shuts down private businesses. So you gotta show us, man. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, I just had a couple of questions. Do you own any other like operations? You mentioned the restaurant that you're proposing, but are there any other like operations in any other communities?
No, we don't. We're just.
We just submitted a CUP for downtown Upland.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is,
All right, and then kind of, and I may have missed this when you're in your earlier remarks, but on a kind of a day in the life of the business, how many staff people do you have? I know you come in from time to time.
I only have 4 bartenders.
I know, but walk me through from opening to close.
Opening to close.
How many people are there all the time, from start to finish?
So opening, there's usually, if it's me or one of the bartenders in the morning, it's just the one bartender. And then when the second bartender comes in at 6, we have a cleaning guy that comes. He's there all day with them, and then my son comes in and closes with them. So there's a total of 4 people a day.
Does any one of those individuals kind of assume the role of manager?
My son, yeah, definitely.
But he is only there at the end of the day.
Well, he comes in around 7 p.m.
And stays.
When it picks up, because it's, that's when we usually pick up in the evening. We're not busy during the day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She's usually in and out in the daytime.
I sit there. I'm there for hours until the kids get out of school, and then I take them home. Then I come back. I'm back and forth. But I'm there all day long during the day when I'm not working, and there's a bartender. But sometimes I'm just there because I'm working. So I'll be the only employee when I'm there.
Okay. All right. Okay. If there are no other questions from any of my fellow commissioners here, we'll go ahead now and have an opportunity for. This is a public hearing, so you can go ahead and be seated at this point. So this is a public hearing, and are there any individuals in the audience that wish to speak on this item? And if not, well, first of all, I'll ask Jamie, do we have any cards on this item?
We have 3 speakers.
Okay, so let's go ahead and proceed with those speakers.
First, we have Dale Dirks, followed by Richard Michael. Dale?
Good evening, Richard Michael.
Sir, if you would, we'll go to the microphone so we can, thank you.
Good evening, council. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my testimony. I'm a current business owner for 30 years in the city of Upland. I used to own 1975 North Benson Avenue in Upland, which consisted of 150 acres. I sold to Holiday Rock approximately 20 years ago. I've lived in Claremont my entire life, over 60 years. My brother-in-law is one of the head Claremont Police Department officers, and as we all know, they have had problems with their department also. Just as the city of Upland has problems with their department throughout the years. And also, your council here has also had problems. But I want to tell you, this family is of the utmost integrity right here. They're personal friends of mine for over 10 years. I'm friends with them. I do what I can with them. They ask me over for the holidays because I'm an empty nester and all my kids are gone. So I appreciate the relationship with them. I don't think they've been dealt a good deal whatsoever, but I want you guys to understand, and the police department knows better than anybody. There's bodies that have been found over in that area. There's smoke shops in that area. There's 4 liquor stores in that area. There's a strip club in that area. There's homeless living in the back in what used to be Buffalo Inn. That whole place is full of homeless right now. And all those people migrate over there and they throw rocks and break windows and do stuff every night. And I know when I grew up, it wasn't illegal to call the police department. And I don't know what it is anymore that you can't call and get help as a business owner in the city of Upland when all this mayhem's going on. It gets marked down. And I don't think for a minute, 2018, she got a violation and now she tries to open in a business right here in the middle of town and serve biscuits and gravy to everybody. And now all of a sudden she's getting shut down. This is California. You know how hard it is to do business in California? And you guys want to sit there and restrict her hours and do everything else. She's not serving filet mignon there. She's serving beer. She's a responsible owner. She's got cameras in there. She's spent thousands and thousands of dollars to comply with all the stuff that they've done. And all this stuff they've written her up for is hearsay. They haven't written tickets. They haven't done citations. They didn't serve her. All these years later, they come up with all this stuff. This family right here has worked their ass off to try and make things better for this community. Thank you for taking my time and listening to me. I appreciate it. But this isn't right what's going on right now. This would have never happened if she didn't try opening a bar right down the street right here. And now all of a sudden, the city police department doesn't want to approve it. And they not only don't want to approve it, but they want to shut down what supports her whole family. I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to me.
Okay, thank you.
Up next is Richard Michael, followed by Alexis Petschow.
That was Mr. Michael, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Is Dale Dirk still here?
I'm just watching.
Okay. Do we have any other cards, Jamie?
Yes, up next is Alexis Petschow.
Okay. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate your service to the community. And thank you to the Upland Police Department for keeping us safe. We appreciate you guys too. I'm here today to ask you to give Third Base Sports Bar the opportunity to remain open, not because it's perfect, but because it has taken real measurable steps to improve. The ownership has acknowledged past concerns and has actively worked to rectify them, implementing stricter policies, increasing oversight, and bringing in new employees who are properly trained to de-escalate situations and maintain a safe environment. Beyond operations, this is about people. The bar provides jobs and stability for members of our community, including individuals like Linda, who is a single mother when she opened this bar, raising 4 boys, and depends on this workplace to support her family. I, in addition, rely on this job to support my family as a single mother of 2. People like her are exactly who we should be uplifting, not displacing in the city of Upland. Keeping third base open isn't just about a business, it's about fairness, accountability, and preserving opportunities for hardworking members of our community. Give them the chance to continue proving that they can be a part of the solution to many of the problems we have in Upland. Thank you guys again for your time.
Thank you. Jamie, do we have any other cards?
I do not.
Okay, just to make sure, are there anybody in the audience, in that this is a public hearing? Anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none. All right, we'll now go to a segment of the hearing where the city representatives will have an opportunity to rebut any of the items discussed here or presented.
Chairman Andrews, UPD would like to rebut what was said by the
Okay.
CUP holder.
All right, very good.
Chairman Andrews, I was taking a rough time count. I think both sides talked for about 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so that would reserve 13 minutes and 30 seconds to each side for rebuttal.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening,
Welcome,
Commission.
Chief.
Marcel Blanco, Chief of Police. Before making any statements, I'm going to call one of the officers or the case agent that was investigating this to rebut some of the comments made by the business owner.
Okay.
That'll be Officer Fleischman.
Hello, Council. I'm Officer Fleischman, the Upland Police Department. So to speak to some of Ms. Awad's points, she stated that she was not present or not notified prior to January, I believe. Notated in my report, I notated that she was informed, and this is December 18th, that she was notified, and she was actually present during the operation where we cited her for, or cited one of the bartenders for having, or serving alcohol to a minor. So she was present, and I recall her being at the bar table during that operation, so. Thanks, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So one of the things I want to look at is first respond to one of the speakers. I'm a bit taken back by the speaker disparaging our police department as having problems, but yet not providing any evidence of what those problems are. The last thing we want as a police department is to shut businesses down. I can't recall a time when I've been here before you to address an issue like this. I checked with my captain, and he thinks that probably the last time we were here was maybe a couple decades ago, asking for the same thing. So we don't take this lightly. I totally understand the role of business in our city because they sustain our police department. So it does me no good, it does the city no good, or the police department, to shut businesses down, because then there's no tax base, and that's what we survive on. So we do take this seriously. It's not something that we just come up and say, hey, we're not happy with a certain place, we need to take a look at some things. And I do agree with you, Commissioner, that looking back at the incident in 2018 is a bit old, but it is listed in the report as things that we have had. With that being said, an ABC license carries profound responsibility in my mind. It grants the privilege of serving alcohol to members of our community. So this privilege comes with expectations that every holder will operate with the highest standards of care, safety, and respect for the rules designated to protect our residents and our neighborhoods. In this case, the business has not met that responsibility. Instead, embracing the trust placed in them, they have taken the rules lightly and violated both ABC requirements and specific conditions of their conditional use permit. which we make sure when we look at a business like this that we list everything down so that they are compliant and it does not create a problem for the city, for the community, or the police department. The violations here are well documented and have created unnecessary burden on public safety, strained our police resources, and diminished the quality of life for nearby residents and family. We are fortunate to have many other businesses throughout our city that proudly hold ABC licenses. As you all mentioned, a good majority of those, or a good chunk of those, are here in downtown. These responsible operators demonstrate daily what it looks like to be a good steward of this privilege. They invest in proper training, maintain a secure environment, and work collaboratively with law enforcement and their neighbors. Their success shows that compliance is not a burden, but a pathway to sustainable and respected operations. By upholding the conditions of the CUP and enforcing accountability, we send a clear, encouraging message. Excellence in responsible alcohol earns continued support, while disregard for the rules cannot be allowed to continue. This decision protects the progress that we have made together as a community and inspires every permit holder to rise to the standard of care our residents in this community deserve. Our goal remains the same: to foster an environment where safe, compliant businesses thrive and where every member of the community feels valued, heard, and secure. Together, through consistent and fair enforcement, we continue building the kind of city that we can all take pride in. Now, the business owners mentioned that true responsibility for an ABC license goes far beyond accepting accountability after the fact, after the violations have occurred. We can all sit and do that and say, look, I'm doing a good job because I'm accepting accountability. It requires proactive, daily commitment to monitoring operations, training staff, and ensuring every decision aligns with the rules designed to protect our community. When business owners state they accept responsibility for current, and the words use, any future violations, this type of phrasing definitely raises concerns in my mind. It suggests that they view compliance as something to address only after a problem comes up, rather than preventing issues through consistent oversight and care. Responsible stewardship demands foresight and vigilance, not a willingness to simply acknowledge mistakes once they have already impacted residents and public safety. As I mentioned before, in contrast, many other businesses throughout our city hold these licenses and demonstrate what genuine responsibility looks like every single day. Because we are not here asking for any of those businesses to be admonished, restricted, or shut down. These operators invest time in ongoing monitoring, staff education, collaborative problem solving with law enforcement and their neighbors. So their approach shows true accountability begins long before any violations occur. And it builds a stronger, again, and safer environment for everyone. So I will answer any questions if you have any based on the report that has been put forth. If not, that is my comments for now.
Commissioner Johnson, go ahead.
Apologies again.
No worries.
Thank you very much, sir, for being here. Is the Upland Police Department open to, if changes are made that are significant that would help you guys, giving them a chance to get it right? Or is it the stance of the police department that this thing should be shut down and it's over?
We are open to considering amendments or adjustments to see if it will work.
That's all I want to know, my friend. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Chief,
Press that button. Chief, I thank you for being here personally. and your team. The work that went into this report and the presentation that was provided alongside with our planning department is exceptional. It gave us the kind of information we need to consider something like this. And I want to make a special point to something you made, which is, I think, foremost in my mind, and I'm sure fellow commissioners as well. You know, the amount of time that's being taken by you and your team to address this takes away from the work, the great work that everybody in the Upland Police Department does on a daily basis in other parts of our community. And, you know, that to me is something that we certainly don't take lightly. And I appreciate you mentioning that, because I think that's a very important point.
And I truly appreciate that, sir, because we do. And when we're looking at calls for service, any business that has issues or concerns or safety concerns, we're willing to respond all day long. But when those issues or safety concerns are generated by the business because of their practice, then that's when we have a problem. That's when we have to speak up and say, wait, time out. Because we have, again, plenty of other establishments in our city with alcohol licenses that we're not coming to you saying we need to shut them down or we need to severely restrict their operation because of what they're generating. And the fact that you're serving a minor, not paying attention to that, that just boggles my mind.
Commissioner Aspinall.
I just kind of adding on, I've been on this commission almost 10 years now, and I have never ever had a CUP come to be revoked. So I think everyone here should take this seriously and really listen to what's being said. So I appreciate
Thank you,
again, that
Commissioner.
you've spent
We
that
appreciate
time.
that. We do take this seriously, and we don't take it lightly. I mean, again, we don't come to you asking for something unless we feel it's truly, truly a concern for the community. Any other? Yes, ma'am.
I have two questions. The first one is there any ABC involvement right now with these violations, with these egregious violations that occurred? Has ABC gotten involved in it?
Yes, ABC is involved. We have sent the same report to them, and we're waiting for their process. They also have a hearing process, and they may ultimately take a decision on the license to restrict the license, suspend the license, or revoke the license. So that's still in the works. I don't know if the case, it's still.
As of today, yes.
Okay, so that's still in the works
Still
by
in-
ABC. They take a little bit more time. You know, they're a state agency.
So looking at that, I know that the 2018 incident involved ABC from the get-go, and it was from them. So these undercover actions that occurred, ABC was not involved at the time.
Oh, they were involved. In the most current ones, they were
Right.
involved with this. Is that correct, Kyle? Was it
So
just us, or
in-
was it
just-
ABC?
In December and January.
In November, when all of
November,
this
uh-huh.
essentially started, it was a Claremont and Upland joint operation where officers were working undercover. And again, this bar in question was the fourth one of the night. So they're making their rounds throughout the city, making sure that there's compliance taking place. All of our findings are reported back to ABC, and our fundamental operations out there are funded by ABC. So there's complete collaboration going on between all agencies.
Okay,
So
great.
ultimately, they weren't there with us, but we're operating under an ABC grant.
Okay, thank you. And then going back to, and I believe it's Officer Fleshman. I'm not sure. I can't even read my writing right now when I was taking it down. He stated that the applicant was at the site when he had the citation in November, the first one for the minor, the serving of the minor.
Let me call him back because I don't want to
Okay, sure,
say
yeah.
anything that's outside
Yes.
of what he witnessed.
Yes. Hello. When you were there that evening and you indicated that the applicant was on the premises as well, was she actually cited that evening? And that was the first one, right, in November in 2025?
No, ma'am. The first one in November, we went undercover and no person from the
Oh,
bar was
that's right.
contacted. We went back secondary time in December, and that's when we sent in the minor. ABC was present for that, so we did have an ABC state representative there. And she was at the bar top when we came in to exit everyone from the bar. The person who sold the minor alcohol was cited, which is a criminal citation at the BMP section. Then she was advised that she would be cited and contacted at a later date.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right, yes, Commissioner Merriquin.
Thank you. Chief, you heard what the applicant indicated as far as measures that they've taken as of late. For example, the applicant is there more often, et cetera. Do those rise to the level of modifications that you're looking for, or is it something different? And if so, because your letter and your memo asked for revocation.
Correct.
Okay. But you indicated to Commissioner Johnson that perhaps there was room for something different.
We can take a look at what those suggestions may be and possibly work with Bob here, Dahlquist, to see what some recommendations on tightening some things or making adjustments. I'd still ultimately would want you to consider the fact of the violations and the revocation. But at the end of the day, again, we're not here to shut folks down. We are here to make things safe. And if we can put additional conditions, I mean, this business has substantial conditions that were put in. I remember when they first came into place, there was quite a bit looked at for it. And ABC itself has significant conditions as well. So, we're talking quite a bit of violation on those things there. I don't want to speak on business management as I'm a little versed on it because I do manage a business myself, but obviously law enforcement is my forte of the last 35 years.
Well, you just talked about other bars that manage well by providing training and other things. So the applicant indicated the steps that they've taken. It doesn't seem to me that they've reached the bar of what the other bars are doing. They haven't reached the standard of what the other bars are doing, despite now having been given notice of everything that you're concerned about.
I would agree with you on that has not been achieved yet. The fact that after these things happen and now you're going to be there present, well, how long is that going to last? Because as one of the speakers mentioned, it seems like the business owner is also quite busy with other things. So right now, because you're about to get pushed off the edge, then you're going to do whatever it takes to make things happen. But what happens 3 months from now, 6 months from now, is my concern.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Staton?
I have a follow-up. So just hypothetically, regardless of what we ultimately do here in the Planning Commission for the City of Upland in relationship to this complaint or this request, ABC can still come in and pull the license.
Absolutely. ABC can decide a month from now, 6 months from now, we're going to suspend their license for X number of time. We're going to revoke their license. They obviously have a plethora of things that they can do.
That's what I thought. And I have a second question, but it's to staff.
That's fine. We're in a period of time where the rebuttal is to any of the city representatives, so.
On
questions.
the subject of having a license or condition of the CUP, do they have to demonstrate a certain management structure in order to run a healthy business because they are selling and having people consume alcohol?
If I remember correctly, I think the original conditions have a security plan
Yes.
of some sort, yeah.
Because it seems to me that part of the problem with this particular bar is the lack of management or of a structure that has people to be more accountable. If you're sitting there by yourself every day for 8 hours, it sounds like the bar is primarily staffed with a single person. Who's holding that person accountable? Yeah. So I don't know if there's something
I think
in that
beyond
there.
a security management plan, and we start getting into the practices of telling a business how to operate.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You're getting a gray area.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's what I want to stay away from as well.
But I'm sorry, Mr. Dahlquist, but a potential modification to the CUP would not only have new conditions potentially, but also restatement of existing conditions that are in place currently.
We can restate, we can even further define what that security management plan should have.
Right. Okay. All right, yes. Dave.
Kind of follow up and appreciate your comments. I think they're right on. And following up on the management, and I know the city can't dictate how the place is managed. But in your view and looking at it, are there suggestions that you could make to them to